Welcome back to Plastic Surgery Untold, greatest podcast in the world as voted by us. Super excited as we've been teasing a little bit. We have a new treat coming to the office. I think they're actually doing the training tomorrow while we're here in California. But super privileged to have the CEO of our new laser, Miria. So Irina, tell us a little bit about your brainchild here that's been in the works for, I guess, about 8 years or so, and what's so new and exciting and innovative and why we're so excited.
Yeah. Thank you, Johnny. It's a privilege to do this, and we're super excited to have your practitioners pick this up. Avava is the company that I launched in the very beginning, and it was to rewrite the aesthetic space because we know that there are a lot of restraints in how you treat patients and how patients need to get their effect. And so, to simplify it, we finally solved some very fundamental challenges. Being able to treat all patients and all skin tones is very important to us, and that means focal point technology is the Martini Glass Effect. That allowed us to focus the energy anywhere within the skin. We can go deep, we can go superficial, and that allows a very different skin rebuilding, skin regeneration from the fundamentals of your skin. So the Martini effect gives you an ability to create the rim of the martini at the surface, give you a much bigger volume of skin that you are rebuilding from inside with your natural collagen, with your natural elastin fibers. And that hits across all of the modalities and all the problems that patients are facing.
Because it's really always been the superficial layers of the skin that's been the challenge to really apply the energy that we need deep down. And you guys have found a way to really limit that on the exterior, but get to the areas that matter the most.
Yep.
And for us, especially in Texas, there's all sorts of different skin types, different skin colors. And there was a huge limitation. So you either had to do a very limited amount of energy. Some people you couldn't treat at all. Some people had different reactions to this. And so there was always worried about safety and not overtreating. And you've overcome some of the biggest obstacles.
Yes. And in fact, that was how we started. We started by what are the problems and how do we solve them? So the notion here was to create boundless energy. In fact, when we went to the FDA for our product submission, we had not yet hit our therapeutic max, and we more than doubled the energy we could put safely into the skin and do it on all skin tones. So this, for the first time, really brings highly therapeutic outcomes to patients without those limitations. And there are some other things that we had to, we wanted to fix. Procedures hurt a lot. Laser procedures are traditionally known to be very painful. Our team actually pioneered cooling. We were the team that brought cool sculpting to market from the very ideation, and we understood what it takes to cool the skin properly to protect that upper portion of the skin. And that's where your pain sensors are. That's where pain happens, is in the top ouch portion of the skin. And pioneering that alongside with the best energy delivery now lets us rebuild the skin from the inside. What does that mean? You're building tightness in the deep layers, but you're still remodeling that superficial skin to get rid of the crepiness, the textural improvements, and all of the benefits that you get.
And I think that's what's super cool, because for most of us from practice and for patients, you don't want to have to get 8 different treatments or different things. And so the idea that you can do some of the skin resurfacing, you can do some skin tightening. And one of the ones that I'm super excited, and obviously I'm biased as a surgeon, is being able to treat scars. And in the past, we've been able to minimize them and do some treatments. People who are really fair-skinned, we could use some lasers that were effective for that. But for any of our patients that had a little bit darker scars, darker skin, we were really limited in what we could do. And that's one of the big innovations that I'm super excited about.
Yeah, and so just so you know, my background is I'm a scientist who's a cell biologist. And so my whole vision around this company is how do you rebuild that skin from the beginning? And scarring is acute injury to the skin. And to rebuild it on darker skin tones, you have to treat all of the skin. So you're getting these outstanding outcomes. But to rebuild the scar, you have to normalize that tissue. And normalizing it means you have to actually treat all of that skin. And in fact, scars have both red, it has brown in it, and it has disorganized collagen, disorganized elastin. And those are the elements that actually make up the scar. When you treat it with Miria, you're treating all of those components. You're treating the vascular, the component that gives you the pigment, and the component that gives you the actual scar tissue. And that's where I'm so excited about it, because I think this is going to really rewrite the aesthetic category for scar treatment.
Just because the way you think about it, the biggest hesitation for a lot of our patients are these scars. A lot of people are like, I would have done this a long time ago. I'm just worried about this. And
Yes.
when you think about breast lifts, you think tummy tucks, and
Yes.
especially in the setting we were talking earlier about the whole weight loss revolution. And so now that you're having people that have lost weight are probably at some point going to need some type of
Yes.
external, whether it's a facelift, breast lift, tummy tuck, and now to be able to treat their biggest concern is super exciting for me as a surgeon.
Absolutely. And there is another component to this is while facial skin is more forgiving in some respects, people think the facial skin scars worse, but because of the amount of sebaceous units, you actually have less scarring that happens on facial skin. When you go on body and you're starting to do body lifts and body surgical procedures, they are more prone to scarring. And so that actually spans the full spectrum of both your darkest patients and your lightest patients. There's no solutions right now for the darker patients. But on body, to have safe, easy procedures that are not going to hurt a lot and that you can intervene almost before the scar is matures is going to be a breakthrough for the field.
This is super, super exciting. And well, we're excited to have this. And there's going to be a lot more to come. And we'll share some of the actual journeys in our office with you also. Check us out at Austin Plastic Surgeon or at Austin Plastic Surgeon if you want to watch us on Instagram. And then super excited. So many more things coming. And we'll see you guys soon. Plastic Surgery Untold.